G'day folks, I'm diving into it. I've started on it, I'm up to number 3. So I thought I'll put the camera on and we'll do number 4 installation. See how she comes up. It's going together well. Goodness me, look how easy that turns. Look at that. That's the trick, you know, with those little rope seals. Soak them in oil. And then you've got to sort of use that 2.5 inch pipe and gently work it into the groove. And it comes up beautiful, really does. They're a great seal, you know. I prefer it over the neo seal, the neoprene seal, only because the rope will last longer if it's installed properly. So I've heard a lot of horror stories where people have just popped them in and they've leaked. Well, to get success you have to install it correctly, and it's just a few little tricks, guys. Alright, let's do number 4. What I've been doing, guys, is... God, listen to the crap still coming out of that block. I've had it in there and I've pressure cleaned it flat out for a good hour. I was into it. I reckon I've loosened it all up. What would this block be? 1974 or 5? Or even number 1972 could be. So what's that? That's 40 plus years old. Unbelievable. It's an old dinosaur. It's still going like a rocket. Listen to it. Unreal. There's crap coming out of it. It's not worrying the crank because it's just falling straight out, so I'm not too concerned about it. Oh geez, it's coming together well, guys. Alright, well, we better check our ring gaps. I've been doing it and I've been getting around 25. I don't want anything sort of tighter than 23 because of the boost level I'm running. I don't want any sort of tighter than 23 because this engine was never designed, well, never built for boost in mind. Well, this time around I'm just taking a few simple precautions. So I set that 355 stroker up to 27, I think, or 28 was a minimum, and that runs really well. Like that stroker, it's not a fuming engine at all. So I've heard some people say, oh, if you go too big on the ring gaps, you'll make them fuming, you'll get a lot of blow-by. Maybe if you ran them 30, 35, you might get a bit, but I think anything up to around 27, 28 is fine. Okay, we'll pop number 2 in, ring, and we'll just give it a quick check. Yes, what do you think of the cage, guys? Oh, it's a beauty. Oh, I'm in love with it. I really am. I really am. It's well worth the wait. It really was. It's an awesome bit of gear, you know. God, he's done a good job of that. It's incredible. Yeah, look at that. I've got easy. I've probably got about a 27th hour gap there. So that's fine. Because the last thing you want, guys, the last thing you want, and I'll show you in a second when I do this piston, and when I do this ring, sorry, not piston, potential for problems. Yeah, no, that's good. It's tight, but it just took in the probably 24th hour. I'm happy. I'll show you the problem, guys, what can happen. Most of you probably all of you know it, but I'll say it anyway. What I mean by ring butting, and why you like to run a reasonable gap when they're in the bore, is what happens is when you're getting, well, from boosted engines, you get really huge cylinder pressures, and that's heat. A lot of heat, your ring expands, and what happens is if you don't have enough clearance, they'll start butting. And then if you get on extreme cases, the ring will start grabbing in the bore and it'll start trying to tear off the ring lands, which are these parts here. Just destroy them. And yeah, it's not good. You don't want that. So you have to relieve it a little bit so you don't run into that problem. I've seen some people that have boosted standard motors, basically around 17-18 thousandths gap, and they've just tore them completely out. So yeah, just a little tip there. Gap them up a little bit. Doesn't hurt them. I'd rather a too big a gap than not enough. So that's my little tip, guys, and I'm sure a lot of the boost fellas know about it. So it's a common thing. But, I think you'd be pretty safe if you were just low boost levels. But you know, like detonation creeping in, look, that creates cylinder pressures crazy. So that's when it all happens. I'll move the camera over here, guys, and we'll pop a ring, set of rings on the pistons, and yeah, go from there. There you go, got that beautifully set up. I'll tell you what he's done, guys. Check this out. Oh, I'm up to number 4. There you go. Look what he's gone and done here. This is the attention to detail little machine shop's done. I numbered all my pistons when I took them in there, but he's gone and look what he's gone and done there. He's put number 4, stamped it on, so you know which side the bottom cap goes on. I reckon that's cool. I like that. Good machine shop. He's awesome. Attention to detail. I mean, there's no law saying you don't have to do it, but yeah, a good machine shop will do stuff like that. Attention to detail. I'm not sure of the specs on these bolts, guys, so if anyone knows, just let me know in the comments. I'll Google it, but I'm not sure on the specs of them. So, oh, some of them, oh, I knew they'd be tight. Just give them a little tap, guys. Got to get them off evenly. There we go. Never use a hammer, guys, just a nice little soft, this is only as soft as anything. Great little hammer though, you can sort of, I don't use it for pistons, but just for this sort of work it's perfect, it won't hurt anything. Doesn't have the brutalness of a plain hammer. Being a builder, I've got a couple of hammers. That's the only one I'll keep in here. Alright. Yeah, geez, it's looking good, guys. It's bloody terrific. Thanks, Rick, for them rods, mate. You've done well. You really have. Keeping the dream alive. That's what you're doing. Alright, let's pop a ring on. Set of rings. I'm reusing the old ones, obviously. I just don't need the, I don't really want to hone the bore and do all that sort of jazz and gap the rings, and I just thought, no, it'd be easier to put it all back together the way it was. It was fine before, never used any oil. Alright. Just got to be gentle here, guys, you can't get brutal with things like that. Like I said, I'm not an expert, but I just enjoy doing it. I really do. This is part of the passion. You know, when you want to have a car in competition level, whether you're drag racing, circuit racing, or even just running on the street. It's the enjoyment of doing stuff yourself. sure a lot of you guys get that enjoyment. I couldn't bear to take my motor to someone to get it rebuilt, you know. There's no real, for me, I know a lot of guys do it, but for me there's a sense of achievement, you know, assembling a motor. There's no better feeling if you ask me. Alright, I like to just put it there like that. And number 2, I'll just spread it, just gently, just like that. Just don't go crazy, because you don't want to overstretch your rings. And I'll pop in there nicely. A little bit of rubber there off the glove. Yeah, that's number 2. They've worn a little bit, them rings, you know. That's from the force from the explosion, and it's worked on that ring. They still feel right. They still line up in the bores nicely. Like, they've worn a little bit because obviously they wouldn't have been in NA form, or when I built it, put the new ones in, they would have been, I think they were around 18, so they've sort of worn a bit, but they'll be fine. I'm happy with it. It's not as if I'm trying to get longevity out of these motors. I'm not trying to get 200,000k. If I can get if I could get a couple of years out of this, of 2 or 3 years service on the track, because it is hard on the gear. There's no doubt about it. To me, that's well worth it. Alright, we'll pop a bearing in. There we go, in there nicely, guys. Looking good. Yep. This is only a cheapie. It's nothing flash. You can get some really nice. Put a bit of oil on that. I'm babbling away here. You can get some really nice ring compressors I've seen. They're solid ones. I suppose you'd have to, whatever size overbore you're going, you'd have to get one to suit that. But I thought, oh well, this one does the trick. There's nothing really wrong with it. It's a good multi-purpose. Wears out, just go and buy another one. They're not that expensive. Pretty easy little tool that, look at that, it's nice, it's nice. I reckon there could go another one though. Put a bit of a gap there. There you go. Alright, bearings in. My next little tip, guys, a couple of bits of 3/8 hose. I've learnt the hard way. I have learnt the hard way. Remember years ago there when I first did my little motor, I think it was on, can't even remember now. I built a 253 and I've done a 308 many moons ago, but I didn't do this little trick. And I scored the bloody journal of the crank. And ended up having to use a little bit of emery it was to try and smooth it out. Ugh. But this little trick saves your journals. When you're feeding it in there, there's no risk of damage. So it's good. It can save you a lot of headaches and marking your crank, which is the last thing you want to be doing, especially when you've got a nice linished crank. Alright folks, well let's pop him in the block. I'll move the camera back over. Adjust him up just a tad so you can see. There you go. Rightio. So we've got number 4. I'm need to move the crank around a little bit to accommodate the rod. There we go. Beautiful. It's turning over nice now, that little motor. It's relaxed the rope. Beautiful. Okay, I've got a little mark there off the, not sure if you can see it. I'm spinning around a little bit. There's a mark, tiny little indentation. I usually, well, you've got to run them forward. Okay, so we just gently tap it. I'm just using the rubber handle off a extension. Don't go too crazy. Check everything's seated. That's it. Sure he's not tight down there. No, look at that. It's beautiful. See that little rope trick, that hose trick's good. Whoop. A little bit snug. I think he's in. He's in. Yeah. Beautiful! Got to be careful not to go too crazy with it when you're tapping it in, guys. But we've got a nice chamfer around the ball. So if the ring compression is not quite seated right, it'll still go in quite easily. Just need to be just a nice touch, you know, not get too crazy with it and get too aggressive. Alright, now I'm going to push it up. Look at that. Beautiful. They're good, those little bits of hose. What a great little trick, guys. Yeah, saves a lot of scoring and wasn't so bad when I did the 355 because they got the bolts, and you sort of the bolts go from there up in there and screw into the cap. It was just sort of the other way around. You got the bolt and then the nuts are on the cap. So cheap insurance. Good tip. Okay, I'll pop the cap on. Boom, 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 boom. This is nice and relaxing, you know, nice and peaceful. I could live in here, you know. I really could. I like my own company, I really do now. I'm getting a bit older. I like the crowds and the hoo-ha. I just like the peace and quiet. Let's bring him around a little bit. There we go. Coming together beautifully. Put that cap on. So I've got number 4. Number 4. Goes on there. Got to get it square. Everything's got to be perfectly square and lined up. Bit of molly lube. Rod's Rick. Rick's rods. Where did I get that from? Oh dear. Going crazy. Crazy. Oh dear. Yes, thank you, Rick. Beautiful little set of rods, mate. They're lovely. Helping out the channel and getting me back on the racetrack. I'm just talking them up around, I don't know, probably 30 maybe, roughly. 30, maybe 40 pound, just nipping them for now. Not putting any too much craziness on them. Oh mate, isn't it beautiful? Alright, let me just run here, number 4. I'll just see how she goes for checking the deck heights. Just I'm getting it. They're roughly around 20-25 thou. Yeah. So that'd be 26, I reckon. No, very good. Gee, it's come together nice. All right, I've got 4 done. So I might leave it for now, and I'll do some more when I get a chance. But that's how she's coming together, guys. Looking good. She's a ripper. Alright folks, well, what I'll do a vid on the cam install, and I'll show you how, with the chain and everything, how we time it all up. And I'll pop the heads on as well. So, yes, getting there. She's coming together. Alright folks, well, I won't be too far away with another vid. Catch you later.